All right, welcome back to the Vertical Birdman Drug Stories special. We got Cree checking in from Tennessee. We got the Vertical Bird right there. We actually got like a bird within a bird. There's a big bird and there's a little bird on the top right there. So welcome back, Birdman Drug Stories. Welcome back, Cree Commons from Tennessee, Cashville, Tennessee. What up?
Hey, what up, man? Just in time, huh?
Just in time. It was a long day. Worked hard. Went to the dealership. It was a rain out though. It was like if I was a baseball player, it would have been like a rain delay. Maybe they would have canceled the game because it rained so bad all day, and the rain just kept coming. I'll tell you one thing about selling exotic cars and sports cars in these 500 to 1,000 horsepower cars. A rain day will end your day.
Yeah. So what's that like in a car lot? I mean, you were saying earlier people think they're gonna melt, right? But you said something else very interesting. Tell us what you said.
About how the cars drive in the rain.
Yeah, testing them out at like their peak and prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we got D-Saw checking the chat. What's up, D-Saw? Yeah, so I had two customers that canceled their appointment. They're supposed to come in, like check out cars, test drive them, hopefully buy them. I had my whole day lined up. 2 appointments is good. It's good to go into a work day with at least 2 appointments. So I was sitting pretty. And then the rains came. First appointment supposed to be in at 12. I texted them. They texted me back, yo, it's raining now. Can't make it today. And then you know what the bad part is? Tomorrow is supposed to rain too. So I'm like, damn, this dude can only come in on Monday now because he doesn't want to drive it. So I told this guy, I was like, listen, I said, all the cars drive well when the sun is out. Wouldn't you want to know what the Mercedes-Benz G53 AMG, it's like a 70-something thousand dollar SUV. It has massaging seats, has the lights on the interior. It's a sick car. And I was all excited. I was thinking I was going to sell it because it's a top-of-the-line car. Like, how can you not like that car, Anyways, the dude doesn't want to come in because he doesn't want to test drive it. So I tell him, I'm like, listen, they all drive good, when the sun is out. Wouldn't you want to know what it drives like when it's raining? Are you only going to drive the car when the sun is out? Like, what if you buy the car and then it rains? Are you not going to drive it?
Very good point. Wow.
It didn't work. He left me on red. He didn't text me back. So maybe I shouldn't have said it.
Well, let him know. Just assure him there's always tomorrow, and you'd be glad to deal with it then.
Yeah. And then, so we're going to kick off the vertical live right here, Cree. We're going to kick it off right here about being a product of your environment. Let's talk about your environment to start off. Cree, did you grow up in Tennessee? Is that where you're born and raised?
Yeah. Well, I was born there, lived there for a while, and then, like you said, product of environment. My mom wanted to get me out of the mean streets of Memphis, so they moved us down here, hop, skip, and jump away to Mississippi. Well, I still have to toil and deal with Memphis things. I was given a good home. Stepfather took care of us. It was a good Christian, Southern Baptist Christian home. Somewhere I went fucking wrong, and I bucked against, everything they tried to steer me clear of. So as fate would have it, I still ended up a product of my environment. Now,
How old were you when you went astray, where you started acting up? Everybody has that age where they started going in the wrong direction, if you end up going in the wrong direction.
well, peer pressure is a lot of things. It's a motherfucker, and you just want to fit in. You want to be the cool kid, right? You don't want to be the one that's not hip. And so I used to think it was cool to be that dangerous, doing edgy shit, and of course, it's just for attention, If you knew now what you didn't know then, everyone's life would be on a different path, I feel like. But we all wait for that fateful day when that joint gets passed to you, and then it's like, God, this is what the pinnacle of my life is going to go from here into what you think, air quotes, adulthood. So, I think it was a slap in the face to my mother to go against. And, what sucks is I'm eating my words now, or not now, but back then. They tell you, you think you know so much, you think you're grown. You're like, no, you don't know me. And then in reality, they know you. You're a product of them. They know what dangers are out there. They know what's in the streets,
That's true.
So, what a disgrace. What a letdown I ended up being.
I mean, you can't be a complete letdown, Cree. You're overall a good guy. Why do you think you let them down? I don't get why you'd say that.
I knew better, man. I was afforded a nice Christian home with values and health, happiness, and like against all odds, no matter how bad I wanted it. Oh, I got my way, but it came with a price. You know what I mean? And it's like one of them things where you kick yourself in the ass down the road and said, "Man, I should have listened to my mom. I really should have." Because none of these people, they ain't worth shit. My so-called friends, they're all gone. You don't know nothing when you're that young. You know what I mean? And it's like, it really sucks to eat crow. No pun intended. You know, when you knew you were gonna down the road anyway. It's just, I don't know. You live and learn, I guess, you know.
Yeah. I guess I guess I was overall I was like I had lots of anxiety as a kid and everything, but I guess I was like when I was young, I was like I wasn't getting into trouble when I was super young. I mean, not big trouble, no legal trouble or anything like that, but it seems like as soon as I graduated high school, I was supposed to like take the next step in life. I like panicked and bugged out. I'm like, you know what? I'm not ready for all that. I just wanted to go out. Like once I like discovered street drugs, coke, ecstasy, clubbing, strip clubs, bars. Once I discovered all these things, I'm like, yo, this is what life is about. I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And like we've talked about a million times, it starts off fun and games in the beginning, right? And then somewhere, because my environment where I was growing up was like a normal family. I had a house, we had food. You know what I mean? It's not like I came up in poverty.
Yeah.
I wasn't brought up in poverty. That's just not my story. Uh, but we weren't rich either, and parents being from a different country, they didn't really speak much English. They're from Portugal. So I always had these weird things, like hanging over me because of my environment was good. It was a family oriented environment, is what I'm trying to say.
There was
And
probably more
then once I
pressure
got into
over
high
you.
school, huh?
There was probably more pressure over you than someone in my situation because your parents, like, you're not allowed to fuck up. I mean, like you said, they were from another place or immigrants or whatnot, you know?
Yeah, and then figure my
They
two
want to
older
fit
sisters
in.
are model freaking citizens. They're
Yeah,
getting
keep your head
top
low, stay out of
grades. They're
trouble.
not getting in trouble.
Yeah, that it would feel like. I mean, I know a parent can always forgive their child for doing this or that or whatever, depending on the severity. But do you not think in your heart like they frown? It's like you ever heard that expression like it's like, oh, my parents were mad, but they didn't chew me out. I seen this look on their face that was just hurt, disgust. More like it hurt me to embarrass them like that. You know what I mean? You ever heard of that or
Yeah, I've heard of. I had
anything?
something similar to that, which was I had these high standards like live up to. No, here's a big thing. The worst thing to do, um, in a Portuguese, maybe even I'm just gonna say European, but I can definitely say Portuguese because I'm 100% Portuguese. Both my parents are from there, so I can definitely speak in that. But I can say most places in Europe are very family oriented. And if you're doing drugs and you're like a drug addict, right, you are like disgrace to the family. You're the black sheep. Like you're getting like, you're just getting, just completely terrorized your whole life. You're like the biggest, you know, dirtbag out there if you're on drugs and you're from like a European family. So, it doesn't stop European families. It doesn't stop Portuguese people from turning into drug addicts. You know what I mean? It just, what it did to me is it made me want to rebel more and be like, all right, you guys want to say I'm a dirtbag and I'm a drug addict? Like, well, I'll show you how bad I can be. And that didn't do me any favors looking back on it, like in hindsight. But at the time, that's what I did. I wanted to rebel. I didn't want to be a good kid because I grew up a good kid and I was bored. And then once it got time to like for life to start, I wasn't ready to start adult life. I wanted to take a couple of year break, right? I wanted to go party for a couple of years and then figure out what I wanted to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? That was my game plan when I was young. But
Yeah.
somewhere within that time frame, the progression of my drug abuse got worse and worse and worse. And then I started getting in more and more and more trouble. And then my environments were changing. I was not hanging out with like my family and like my cousins that were like good people and stuff like that for the most part, right? I wouldn't really hang out with them. Once I became old enough to be able to like leave and hang out with whoever I wanted to hang out with. Now I'm like, I'm seeking the rough crowd. I'm seeking the drug dealers. I'm seeking the people that my family and my parents told me to stay away from because they're no good and it's trouble. I'm like, what do you mean? I wanted to kind of test the waters, but in hindsight, that really that really set me back because I got into some shit and I got in too deep and it got worse and worse and it completely changed my life. And we all know it almost ended it so many times before.
Yeah, like two things. Like, and let me ask you this: did you always feel like when you know you were doing wrong, you were on the wrong path? Did you always tell yourself like one day I'll get it right, I'll stop all
Yeah.
this? I think we all securely tuck that notion in the back of our head for like, come on, mom, this isn't gonna be forever. This is just a little phase. Let me get it over with, out of my system, you know. But sometimes people go down that dark road and they don't come back. Like it's that dark, okay? Like there is no coming back. I always had it in my head that this wasn't going to be forever. You know, it was going to be temporary. I just wanted to spread my wings, man. Get a taste of the universe and see what all this big fuss is about, and let me make my own assumption. And so that's like when I look back, I go, what a waste of time. These so-called friends, these choices I've made, time wasted, bridges burnt. You can't go back and relive certain points in your life, and when you know you're going to get out of the thick of it anyway, it's like, why would you even try to go play around like that, you know?
I didn't know any better. What I can say from my experience is that I didn't know what I was getting into to the full extent. Even though my family and all said, stay away from drugs, stay away from drug dealers, stay away from certain types of people, right? Um, I didn't understand why. I thought I didn't get it. And I wanted, I don't know, man. I was always pushing back against my family. Like what they wanted for me, I didn't want for myself. They wanted me to like, do like my sisters did, go to college, go to high school, graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, get a white picket fence after college, get
Yeah.
married right after you graduate college and buy the house. Then you get married. Then you have your first kid 1 year later. You have your second kid the next year later. You know what I mean? Where it's like a perfect storybook. And you figure their first two kids were raised in the same exact environment as I was. But yet, when I like started getting to the age where I could make my own decisions, my decisions were horrible. I made poor decisions after, I'd point the finger. I would always make these little comebacks too. Like I'd make a little comeback and be like, all right, I got things going in a good direction. But because of my drug problem, they were very short lived, right? I'd be like, I'm back, guys. I'm doing good. I'm a couple weeks clean. I'm back. And everyone's like, yay, Bird's back. The good Bird is back. And that wouldn't last too long. Next thing you know, I'm back at the trap. I'm sneaking drugs around and I just start the whole cycle over and over again. And it got to a point where as the drugs went from weed and alcohol to coke and ecstasy, even those were sort of manageable. But once I got into pills and then heroin and then Xanax or whatever, towards the end, I was just like a drug dumpster. Whatever drugs I could get, I would do. If you had Suboxone, I would take Suboxone. If you had heroin, I would take that. If the heroin was cut with fentanyl, I would just be careful. But I wasn't very good at being careful.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never done with my situation, or folks. I've never fucked up once and then had to promise I'd never do it again, and then I do it again. Like, I guess you've had that kind of, like you just said, like,
Chasing the dragon right here. The
oh
dragon.
yeah, oh. Yeah, like it's not like I've ever had a situation where I ended up in rehab and I told my folks, "Hey, I promise it won't happen again," and then I end up going again, and then say I won't do it again, and then go again. I've seen people that have though. I truly have. So
I'm glad you said that about the rehab because even the first time I gave up and went to rehab, I went to rehab to like appease my family, right? To get back on track. And that's what they wanted me to do. I didn't want to go get clean, but I was like, all right, I was trying to like make good. And I was real young, not super young, but like mid 20s, maybe early 20s. My first rehab, I was there, wasn't even on heroin. I was on just pills. And I went to that rehab, and even when I went to that first rehab, my parents were mad at me before I went to rehab. Once I got into rehab, then they were mad. Like they were, they'd have like the rehab would have family visits where like they could come see you and drop you off stuff or whatever. Everybody'd be
yeah,
asking their parents to bring in cigarettes for them. And that's the only time my parents ever bought me a pack of cigarettes. Probably was they dropped me off a pack in rehab. They brought me in a bunch of my clothes from home because I was in there like off the street. So I was you go in there with the shirt on your back to rehab, but you can have clothes dropped off if someone will bring it to you. So they went there, they visited it, they brought clothes, and they really believed in me. And they even got me like a place to live once I got out of there. And as soon as I had my own free place to live, I relapsed a couple of weeks after I was out of the rehab.
Yeah, you just brought me back to a memory. I was thinking about, like, rehab and jail are two different places, but all in all, bottom line, you're taken away from the streets and the public forcefully. I remember, you're supposed to be a tough guy when you go to jail, and I remember,
Yeah.
like, I was in and out of court so much, and I'd violated probation. And I knew I was going, and I went, and so it's like I wasn't on bad terms or in trouble with my mom or anything, but she was my first visit after the court thing, and it's like when I came into the room and I seen her, I just started kind of tearing up crying. She's like, "What's wrong? Are you okay? Is everything okay in there?" I was like, "It's fine." I said, "It's not me. It's like you seeing me in this position like it's like I was ashamed or embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like I was crying because she wasn't upset. I was crying because it was like, look what I got myself into. Like it was the most embarrassing. Now of course it wasn't like a bawling out. Like it was just kind of like a miserable, embarrassed. Like I sat
You're
there,
tearing up,
Mom,
kind of.
you
Yeah.
fucking told me stop my bullshit and look where we're at now. And it's like it's my fault. I felt stupid. Like I was crying because I felt stupid more than all. Like, and it's like that only lasted a few minutes. But what do you want, man?
The controller so you can play.
Yeah, man, I love it, man. You know me, probably in the history of me doing my YouTube channel, my favorite night seems to always be, and I don't plan it this way. Like I love a Friday night drug story night. I love doing a Friday night live drug cast. When I started doing the lives, I mainly try to set up the interviews for Friday nights. Like I love doing a Friday night drug story because in the drug days while I was out there, Friday night was like that was the golden night of the week.
Ooh,
It's usually payday.
Sure was,
You're normally getting paid. You got the next day's out.
Hell
Like
yeah, I remember them days.
so, welcome back right here. We're live right here. Shout out to Grub Mud. He was in the chat earlier. If you're still out there, Grub Mud from the Grub Mud channel. He has a huge channel. He got like
What's up,
200,
Grub Mud?
probably 75K by now. He might be close to 300. I haven't checked in a minute, but his shit popping. He's a friend of the channel. He's been on a couple times. So welcome everybody right here. We have some live drug stories right here. Me, Cree Commons checking in from Tennessee. We're talking about being products of your environment. You grow up as a product of your environment. But like me, I had my environment. I chose, for some reason, pushing back from my feeling, I chose my own environment. I set myself to the streets. I set myself to the ghettos. I set myself to the trap. Like it wasn't like it wasn't my environment, but I wanted to be in that environment. And because I loved it, when I realized that that's where the drugs were at, the best shit, the best prices. You can meet connects. You can get, you can meet plugs, shit like that. Once I realized that there's a whole underbelly of life that I was told never go there. It's like Adam and Eve. Like my whole life, they said, don't eat the apple, which the apple would be drugs. And don't eat that apple, Bird. Whatever you do, don't eat that apple. Even if you're not going to be a great person like your sisters are, whatever you do, just don't eat that apple. I'm like, that apple over there? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I was ever offered heroin, the next question, dude said, well, do you want some? I was like, yeah. He said, you ever done it before? I said, no. He goes, all right, I wouldn't even try it. I was like, you didn't give it to me still? He goes, no. And I was like, oh, come on. It couldn't be that bad. Drugs are drugs. Don't do too much of it, right? Boy, he was saving me a world of trouble.
Did he give it to you?
Even then.
Or did he not give it to you?
He was going to give it to me for helping him out doing something. I helped him out of a jam from going to jail.
Yeah.
And he went to this location I drove him to. I dropped him off, and he went to the back of his vehicle and opened a duffel bag, and he was rummaging around. He was going to give me, quote, unquote, payback for helping him out of this situation. And I thought he was going to give me some weed or something. And he had these little bits of foil folded up. He goes, you ever had heroin before?
At that point, what was the worst drug you had ever done?
Just pills, liquor, and weed. Like, other things. But but I'd never had heroin before. And I was just going to try it just to try it. Like, hey, I've add one more notch to my belt,
That's crazy, though, right?
He stopped me, though. He was like...
Did you know how dangerous heroin was? Like, because by the time I got to heroin, I knew how dangerous it was and everything like that. But it sounds like this was early in your days where maybe you didn't even know really what kind of beast you're about to put yourself up against,
I think I was like 23, 22, something like that. And
did you know anything about dope, or you just thought, hey, it's another drug? I do
also,
coke, I smoke weed. What's wrong with heroin? Or did you know it was really bad?
All I knew of was what I heard from it, like, oh, it killed rock stars and you can OD off it. But I never knew what a relapse was, or I never knew what precipitated withdrawal is, or I wasn't hip to that, or like people coming down junkie wise. Like I wasn't hip to none of that. I just thought it was another thing out there that, I didn't know about physical dependency of it. If you don't have it, you'll be sick all day. Like I had no idea what withdrawals meant. But yeah, there goes me, a child in my mind at 20 something years old. I was gonna pull that trigger and go, yeah, man, sure, I'll try it. But his next question was, have you ever done it before? I said no. And he was like, sorry, I can't give it to you. I didn't.
Hey, with the slim chance this video goes viral and this person is able to watch this video somehow out there in the universe, please, I'm hoping the YouTube God send this to whatever guy did not give you the heroin. Shout out to whoever did not give Cree the heroin because he had never tried it before. Because lots of people would have given you that. Be like, hey, man, just take it. Because they might have wanted a customer. Like, if he was a dirtbag, he would have wanted you to be a heroin customer, so you need him every day, right? If he was a bad guy.
I'd say it'd probably be painful to be a heroin dealer because chances are you're on it. And if you're over here giving away your stock, you got to make sure you have enough for you, right? To keep you well.
Many re-ups get ruined that way, Cree, that exact way. I used to have dealers that would party too much and they'd mess their re-up up. Yeah, and they'd be sick too. And they'd be sicker because actually, while I was on the YouTube streets channel, AZ Ruction interviewed me. And, I'm not dox him or nothing, but he was saying back in his dope days before he got his life together and cleaned up that, he was selling the shit, right? So if he's selling the shit and he's getting great prices, because he always had access to it, would give himself a way larger habit because, right, say, I don't know what the weight was, but say he's got, 3 ounces of dope, right? And he's selling it, making money, making profit. Who knows that maybe he's doing like an eighth or a quarter of heroin a day. You never know what you could get up to because you have such access to it and so much. And like, you always got money, you always got dope. But the thing is, and this happened to him, once something happens and like the plug messes up or you can't get none or shit gets dry, like then you're out there, bro. Then you're out there holding the bag and the bag is empty. Like you're out there holding the bag. And heroin dealers that turn into heroin users, when their shit dries up, or if there's a drought, they have, way worse sickness than I ever had. I didn't have money to do that much dope. I spent every dollar I had on it and I made pretty good money, but like I didn't have dope dealer money that could just, get high on ridiculous amounts of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I figured they grow their habit really hard whenever they're dealing it because they're around it. They have access to it. They can say, I can make this back, this little tenth or whatever you guys, however you call it, eighths or whatever. I don't know. But, yeah, like Ryan, I've seen some videos. He said he was doing so much heroin, he was buying up all the heroin in the area. He had to go out looking for other places because he cleaned out every dealer he come across. His habit had gotten so out of control. And it's like, man, if it ever got that bad, I would personally like slow it down or cut back or something because.
Yeah, it's easy to say that, but when you're in it, dude, you got to think if you're doing that much dope and you're in the street life and the dope life, you got people hitting you up nonstop, bro. Listen, I was so annoying, yo. Fuck, I'd be hitting my dope dealer. If he didn't answer, I'd be calling right back. If he didn't answer, I'd be calling right back. If he didn't answer, I'm leaving a voicemail. I'm texting him.
Phone, calling his mama's phone. No.
Yo, I'm fucking, where it says to leave a callback number, press 2 or whatever, press 3. Yo, I'd be leaving my callback number. Like, motherfucker, I didn't have to leave my callback number. You can see my number calling a million times, but I'm leaving my callback number on the voicemail. I'm texting them, yo. I'm writing them a freaking letter, dude. A letter in a bottle, sending it to them. Because I would just be, I'd blow up their phone until they fucking answered me and came and met me.
Look, it's kind of like they get mad that you're so.
You got to earn my business, bro. There's plenty of dope dealers out there.
It's like you the one that got me this connection, and now I need it. Now you want to get resentful that you even have to serve me because now it's a life or death situation. It's like, why'd you do this to me, man?
Well, it's not that. They act like they're the only hustler on the block. They act like they're the only dope dealer on the block out there, which is, you're not. There's motherfucking plenty of dope dealers, especially in places I was at. There's heroin dealers like everywhere. And there's open air heroin markets back in my home area in Holyoke and stuff like that. It's just open air heroin market where, just gang members out there. They speak no English, Spanish dudes out there. And they're just freaking out there slinging dope all day. And the cops know, like, it's like a okay zone. It's kind of like, what was that show back in the day in Baltimore where they had that
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
okay to sell drugs in Amsterdam.
I know what you're talking
Amsterdam.
about.
The Wire.
Fuck. The
The
Wire.
Wire.
Yep.
The
Actually,
Wire.
that's an alright show.
Remember in The Wire where they had Amsterdam, where they said you guys can sell drugs on those 2 blocks over there to end the gang violence. They said to go and you guys can hustle freely over there. It was like the police commissioner or the lieutenant or whatever said they could sell dope on those 2 streets. And then like the higher ups found out, right? And then they were mad, like in the show.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was two factions that were like somebody was the original plug, and then somebody new came up, rose up in the ranks, and then they were you know that kind of shit starts trouble too when you got dealers battling over turf over customers.
Hey, we got a newcomer to the Cree chat. So sorry, so rude of me to
Oh,
interrupt, but we got a newcomer to the chat. We got Flamingo Roblox fan 123 asking what my favorite NBA team is. You must be new because welcome back. We all know I'm from Massachusetts. We all know I'm Bird, which makes Larry Bird like my favorite player of all time, right? Well, him and Jordan.
Yeah, your screen name's too long, man.
Asking who my favorite team is in the NBA. Let's go. Celtics.
All right.
This Birdman Drugstory Live is brought to you in part by the Boston Celtics and Cree Comments. We're joining Tennessee, North Carolina, and Massachusetts. Sorry, I fucked up your train of thought there, but I was like offended by the question.
No, I like that hat, man. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's a Giants hat. My father-in-law, my wife's dad, bought it for me for Christmas and sent it. He knew I was a 49ers fan, but he doesn't really follow sports, so he thought this was a Niners hat. He thought it looked like the logo. It kind of looks like the Niners logo, right? It's not that far off. I think the 49ers logo is
Francisco. Is that what that is? SF?
Yeah, this is the Giants, the 49ers. I got 49ers hat right here. See, this is the 49ers hat and logo. And then right next to it, you got the Giants hat and logo. Birdman, welcome back. Actions, not distraction. Welcome back. Friday Night Live drug stories. Let's get back into it, Chris. Sorry, I got us off track in the comments. I always get my like ADD, my undiagnosed ADD fires off into the comments. I lose the train of thought. Product of your environment, Cree. What would you say about why do you think I like rebelled away from like I had a pretty good environment? Why did I throw it away to go run off into the dope life? Like it doesn't make much common sense, and we know drug addicts sometimes don't have the most common sense. Me especially, you know, whether I'm on drugs or off drugs, I make bad decisions either way. But like when I was on drugs, my decision making was like mind blowingly bad. It was like my friends that cared about me, like Bird, be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what? Look at this mess you got yourself into. I was always in a mess. Somebody was always looking for me. I was always having beef. It was all because of my drug problem. And I would deny my drug problem for years. But no, it's not the drugs. But like, eventually when I'm like on heroin, at that point, it was starting to become clear that, yeah, it is the drugs, Bird.
Yeah, I think short form, your parents tell you no, don't do it because it's easy just to tell you no. And they don't have all day to tell you what it entails or what comes with it. So that sounds kind of hypocritical because it's like, it's not fair. You're telling me no when I haven't had a chance to experience it yet. But I know it's for my own good. But I guess you won't learn that lesson until until you live it,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the going back to the Adam and Eve thing. I think it's just like the Adam and Eve thing. I think it's like in our nature as like human beings or whatever that if someone tells you don't look over there or, you're going to want to look over there, right? Why do people slow down when there's a car accident and shit like that? Yeah. It's like human nature. Actions, not distractions. Cool if I jump up. Yeah, you can jump up. You can jump up. You can jump down. You can hop on the stream if you want. Actions, not distractions. Might be joining the party here, Cree.
So Carl Johnson was on my channel, actually. He says
he just failed the drug test. As AZ would say, let's get to that. Just failed the drug test. Do tell.
That's funny. People ask me, like,
Cree. Well, you said he was on. You comment on your channel. You want to what's your guess? What drug do you think Carl Johnson failed his drug test for?
Yeah, he said.
Don't look at the comments. I was gonna guess some wild shit. I'm not gonna lie, yo. Carl
That's the
Johnson, I was
main
not
one.
gonna guess weed. I was thinking some dope, some crack. I never seen you comment on the channel before, so I figured, some weed in the drug
This is
test.
crazy. It's coming through to your comments because it's on mine right now.
So he said he failed for weed. So that's not so bad, Carl John. What'd you fail it for? Hopefully not like no jail shit. Hopefully just a job or something. I don't know.
So I mean, what's gonna happen, Mr. Johnson? Are you going away for a little bit, or?
All right, we got someone pulling up right here. A random one right here from a chat. Welcome back. What's going on? AND.
What's up? What's up?
Where are you checking in from, man?
I'm kind of new to this channel. I'm just trying.
Yeah, it's all good.
Phoenix,
It's
Arizona.
Birdman drug stories. We're on here talking about some life shit, some drug stories shit. I figure if it came across your algorithm, you must have some type of
Well, I
drug
got
history,
plenty of
man.
those.
You ever had a problem with drugs?
I found you through Corrupt.
Oh, through Corrupt.
Shit. Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, let's dive into that shit.
There's
That's
a little
what the
bit of
channel's
lag right
about,
now.
pretty much. Huh?
Yeah, it's gonna do that, man.
Is there a little bit of lag right now? Oh, all
You're
right,
good.
cool. All right, I just make sure you can hear me all right.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I was just,
what's the first drug you did? What's the first drug you did other than alcohol or weed? And what was it? And when was it?
some of that Cristal, 13 years old, going from 8th grade into freshman year of high school. Ever since I was up to 32 years old. Just 31 years old, my bad. 2 years ago. Most of my
You were
life.
13
been
or
messed up
31?
on it. 13 when I started, 31 when I quit.
Damn, yo, that is a stretch, bro. Well, we're lucky to have you on the channel because that's a long run on a dangerous drug. So happy you've found your way out of it too. Well, when did you stop? How long ago?
It was 2 years ago. I started taking care of these horses for these people, and they took off with the horses to Jacksonville, Florida. Well, about a month later, they called me up to say, "Hey, you want a free trip? You got your own room and board. You got your own car, your own place to stay. Just come take care of our horses." I said, "For how long?" He said, 4 months. I said, "Well, shit, this is my one out. It's gonna be this." And that's what I did. I went out there for 4 months and pretty much went cold turkey, except for alcohol, kind of. But
Damn, that's wild. That's pretty crazy. Everybody's pretty shocked in the chat too. I mean, 13 years old, bro. Yeah, I was sneaking alcohol drinks when I could at 13. By 14, I was getting drunk, whenever I really could, which wasn't too crazy. But I didn't have access to that. This is what we're talking about tonight: is being a product of your environment. Like, I didn't have that in my environment. Like when I was 13, I didn't have access to anything like that. But I guarantee you that if I did have access to like real drugs, I probably would have did it at a young age too. I used to have
I couldn't
access
imagine
to it.
someone giving that. I couldn't imagine giving that to a 13-year-old.
Because that's crazy. That's super young.
I couldn't imagine giving that shit to a 13-year-old. Being my age, but I hung around with fucking older people, over 18 years old at least most of the time, and it's just like I couldn't believe that they were handing that shit to me left and right. I couldn't do it.
So they were
never
18. Hold up. They were 18 and they were giving a 13-year-old
They were about
meth.
Most of them.
Damn.
Pretty much. I mean, just the area I live in is just a fucking run down. I mean, it's a country run. Out here it's real big. I mean, there's nowhere you're not going to turn. Okay, this is how it first came up. Some dude owed me some money. I tried to get money off him for like 2 months. So I rolled up with like 6 of my friends, and we're like, "Bro, like, you gonna pay me?" Or like, he's like, "Oh, I got this little 20 shit. You want that?" I said, "What the fuck is this?" I said, "All right, bro, what the fuck ever. I'll take it because I ain't gonna get paid anyways." And that's how the first time it came about. Right, honestly.
Oh shit.
Damn, that's a wild story. That's a wild story right there. Damn, I can't imagine 13 being tweaked out. I mean, do you remember? Do you remember? It was a long time ago. Do you remember that day well? Because it was so long ago. Like I don't remember many memories from when I was like 13. Like, do you remember? But if something like that happened,
I do, but I don't. I mean,
How old are you now, man?
I'm 33.
33. Well, you're still a young man. You got some life in
Yeah, I
you.
just barely got off.
Are you currently still
Yeah, I'm trying to
using,
build something else
might I
better.
ask?
Are you clean now?
To
You
be
drink,
honest,
you
and
smoke.
I'm an honest
Are you
person,
cleaned up now? Are you cleaned up
it's
now? I know you
kind of a
say
hit and
you
miss.
haven't done meth.
Huh?
It's still kind of a hit and miss sometimes. I mean, after I left from Jacksonville, Florida, I came right back to my same area. So it's kind of like, you know,
Okay.
fucked if I do, fucked if I don't,
Yeah, I get it,
kind of
man. I've
type
been
thing,
there.
you know. I don't know if you're
I
allowed
get it, man.
cursing up here. I don't know if you're allowed cursing up here. My bad if you don't. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can
Some people
curse it,
don't.
curse it up. I always get. They always demonetize my videos for cursing. I don't give a fuck. Curse it up. We ain't gonna clean this shit up for nobody.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been watching you in the background for I say about 2 months now. About say 2 months when I met Corrupt. And you seem like a pretty solid dude who's actually been through some shit and gone through the dirt and been drugged through the mud and shit. Like a lot of people
I've been. I
talk
put
that
my. That's
shit,
what
but
we're
I don't know.
talking
They
about
just
tonight. We're
don't
talking about.
sound
I put myself
legit.
in the mud. I put myself in the mud, and then I had to fight to get out of it. But you know what age I was when I went to jail and turned it around, and like I haven't done drugs ever since, and my life has completely changed, like night and day. Do you know how old I was? You might not know. You've been only watching the channel for a couple
23, I
months, but
guess.
take a guess.
25, maybe 23, 25.
No, Cree, you might know. That's
What's
no,
that,
it's
man?
not 25. Cree, take a guess.
What's that?
How old was I when I cleaned up my act and like stopped doing drugs and started turning my life
Oh,
around, making better choices?
was it like 34, maybe?
33, same
33,
age
okay.
as A&D, same age. I was 33 when I went to jail.
Damn,
And Jesus.
I only did a few months in
damn.
county. I'm not a prison YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? I kind of get caught up in the prison YouTube community sometimes because drug stories, prison, jail. I got some jail stories, but like I'm not a prison YouTuber. But I learned some lessons in jail that I hadn't learned in the 33 years prior. And then and when I was 33 and I was getting out of jail and going to a sober house, I had no driver's license and taking the bus to go try to like fill out job applications. Like, yo, it was rough and I
Yeah.
felt like a loser and I would never get it together. You know what I'm saying? I was like, everybody's right. You're just you'll never be shit. Like, yeah, you're out of
Well,
jail, but I'm on
well,
probation. I got no license. I got no car, and I'm taking the bus to fill out job applications for like minimum wage jobs, just so I can like try to start to figure out like how and where I can rebuild my life. I was in a sober house program for like a year and a half, and that really helped me. But yeah, I've been through the mud, bro. I put myself in the mud. I'm not gonna say I was born into the mud. Like some folks have no they don't have any other option. Like Chicago Dave's been on the channel. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he was born right
exactly.
into the drug wreckage.
Can I interrupt for a second, guys? Birdman, I seen you uploaded a short with
Go for
Chicago
it.
Dave the other day. Was
Uh,
that recent? Like, have you recently spoken with him, or was that like an old clip?
it's a old clip from one of the times he was on, but I have no actually no, he was on relatively recently when Corrupt came on. It was I just randomly did a live one night. It was me, and then I think Corrupt came up, and then Chicago Dave was on too. So it was the three of us. It was probably a
How
couple
was
weeks ago. So I
how's he
stay in
doing?
contact with Chicago Dave, but with Chicago Dave, what frustrates me is this: like, you can lead a horse to water. I can tell him all the right things that he should be doing, but he's
Yeah.
gonna do what he's gonna do, and I can't control what other people do. Even though I can give him advice, point him in the right direction, and give him my experiences with the drug life and how to get out of it. But I mean, I can't do it for him. Like, I would do it for someone if I could, but yeah, I barely could do it for myself. I did it kicking and screaming. Like I failed a lot of times. I failed a lot of times in my recovery. I'd get clean, I'd fuck up. I'd get clean, I'd fuck up. I'd get clean, and I'd fuck up. And it was a merry-go-round, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that jail shit fucking got my head right, yo.
But this
I
is
didn't want to
actually
go.
the
I didn't
first
want to go back to
time.
jail.
This is actually the first time I've tried to kick it. Like I've tried to, kick it. This is actually my first actual, I could say, attempt. Because I'll tell you this right now. Look up a little town called Whitman,
I
I'm
would.
not done yet.
Whittmann.
Hey, Cree, you
Before I
got a
worked
device
with
over
the
there?
horses,
My other phone's in the other room in the iPad. You got another device?
Oh, I was
Look it
just
up.
saying, this guy. No offense, Mister Action. You're not done yet. I mean, That's very noble that you're gonna quit or you're trying, but you're not done, dude. We're gonna hear about 5 more
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not
redos.
saying. No, I'll say I'm hitting and missing all the time. Like I'm back
Oh
in
yeah,
my
no, no,
same
no, no.
neighborhood. Like
I
it's a
was
hit
just
and miss
saying,
all the time.
like
Yeah.
no, you're
No,
just.
that's
I
all
mean,
good.
that's good wishful thinking, you know. But yeah, just prepare yourself for the worst.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, the
And
only
you know,
reason I got
Birdman.
this little advance is because I left the state, honestly, and then we ended up coming back
Have you ever gotten
because I
professional
got two
help?
places. They got two houses.
Have you ever gone to rehab?
No,
Have you ever
no,
gone to
I won't get
detox or
no,
rehab or any place like that?
no,
AND to get
I
like
won't.
professional help? Have you ever tried that?
I won't do that. No, I won't go to like rehab or like counseling or like I did that
That
shit for
pride
a
shit
long
will
time
kill you,
because
bro.
ADD was really.
That pride shit will kill you, bro. Because if you're telling me you got a drug problem and you've tried on your own and failed, as I have and as millions of other drug addicts have, the next step is you need some professional help. Maybe you know what I'm saying? Like that's the next step. Because if you
Yeah.
don't, and you keep getting high, say you get a hot bag, then you're done for.
Oh yeah, I mean it's always a chance. I mean it's always a roll of the dice, honestly. But you know, I I got a little channel on YouTube. Me and you need to hook up and do a little get to know each other type thing. Type if you'd be interested to.
Yeah, Birdman. You're in
What do
that
you
business,
mean?
art.
Well, like just bullshit and like get to know each other's past. What we've been through and shit like that. Like I don't know.
I think he's saying he wants to be lined up for a guest slot, right, Mr. Action? What? Who is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could get.
Sorry
We
about
could
that,
get.
guys.
We haven't done a everybody has a drug story in a while. I stopped like like fishing for people to get on there because it's like it becomes like work. You gotta find someone new every week. I'm like, so like turning into like a job. But if you want to come
it
on the
is
show and
hard.
tell
Yeah, it
tell your
is
story,
hard.
man, we
I
can set up
mean,
a show that'll highlight you. Do you have a channel also? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you want to plug your channel right now?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, here.
What's your
Oh
YouTube
yeah.
channel?
Yeah. I got a channel. I got
All right.
action, not distractions.
Actions, not distractions. Oh, like from the
Yeah.
comment earlier. That's right. Yeah. So actions, not distractions. YouTube channel. Go check him out. Drop him a sub. And yeah, that's my channel is about
Yeah.
supporting people, helping people navigate through. But we were talking about
Yeah. Mine
Chicago Dave
too.
before he came up because I've been trying to help Chicago Dave for a while, but like I can't do it for him. And like I can't also, with that being said, I can't do much for you other than point you in the right direction. I've already kind of tried to point you in the right direction that maybe you need to go to rehab and see if that would help you. And you've already told me you're not willing to do that. So like it looks like you're gonna have like an uphill battle because
Well,
it sounds like you're not done. If I'm gonna keep your 100 like we
the
do on
way
the channel, it's no disrespect. I don't think you're done getting high. I think you need professional help, and even then, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's a pretty legit channel, Birdman.
yeah. Well, this is the way I view. This is the way I view rehabs. Honestly, okay, that's not more of a physical withdrawal. It's more of a mental. Like I think I don't know. People who really like are gonna die from that shit should go to rehab. Like people who aren't, don't. I mean, they can fight through that shit. There are some survivors, and it's
How
very
do you know
rare
that you're
though.
not gonna
But
die?
there is some. Well, because I'm not gonna
What
withdraw and
makes you
die
think
from it because I
you're
already did
immune
it for 4 months. I already did it.
Do you think anybody that overdoses on drugs, like probably most of them, they don't think they're gonna
No,
die?
no, no. I'm
You know how
talking
many dead
withdrawing.
friends I
I'm
got
talking
that thought
withdrawing.
they were gonna get high one last time, and that was the last time they ever fucking lived because they thought they could get high one more time, and they woke up fucking dead in their mom's fucking bathroom. I got boys that are fucking underground that are saying the same shit that you're saying right now. So what I'm saying is, you need to like, if you want to like advance your
I'm
life
just
and get out of that shit, you've had a tough drug road. Like you might need some like professional help. Like I ain't a professional. I am a professional. Like I have my street PhD, but like I don't got a rehab. You know what I mean? If I had a rehab, I'd let you in right now. But I ain't got one. So you need to find one, or you're gonna risk your life. And you could
well.
be just like
I'm just saying because for the. I'm just saying for the withdrawal part. I mean,
what drugs do you currently do now? I know you say you don't
but
do
I
meth.
could
Huh?
dabs and I it's recreational here in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean we're 420
Sure,
friendly
some
here on the
dab.
channel. You're not gonna die off of no fucking weed. So like, smoke away if you want to smoke away. If that helps you, that's fine. I'm not knocking no weed, but
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time you did like a real drug that's not weed, like some real shit?
2 weeks ago,
See,
3 weeks ago.
that's only 2 weeks ago. So that's what I mean, bro. Like 2 weeks ago, you could have died. You know what I mean? You didn't know that you weren't gonna die. You figured I've gotten high a million times. I'm not gonna die. But I'm telling you, bro, shit goes the other way, bro. I really think that they need some further help, bro, because 2 weeks is not a very long time. If you're saying 2 weeks, I'm gonna guess it's really 3 to 5 days. I might be wrong. If I am, I apologize. But my guess, if I had to bet money on it, I'd say 3 to 5 days.
No,
I've lost bets before, but I'm saying if you're saying 2 weeks, if when I was in the drug life, I say yeah, I'm 2 weeks clean. I was fucking 10 minutes clean. I just did a line in the bathroom, so I know how it goes.
I'm trying to get. I mean, I'm gonna admit it right now. I'm always gonna have a problem in this area. I'm trying to get back up out of this area, kind of for good. I'm trying to go to the East Coast. I don't know if it's gonna really go through, but being in the same area, it's always gonna be a fuck up for
Hey,
me. It's always gonna be
what if I
bad.
could get you? Actually, I know I can get you. What if I could get you into my old? I was the house manager at the sober house I went to when I got out of jail. This is the only place that took me in. It was the nicest sober house in the whole city in Springfield, Massachusetts. Right? I got connections there with the founder of the sober house. I got connections with the people that work there and that run the place. I could get you in there, get you out of where you're at, get you into a safe environment, get you into a sober house. They help you find a job. You got to pay a little bit of rent once you do find a job and shit like that. I could get you into my old program that helped change my life forever. I mean, if I could pull those strings, would you go?
Where's it at? Where's it at? Like, where's
Springfield,
just the state?
Massachusetts.
I guess not only known as
Springfield,
that.
Massachusetts. The MJD house. Michael Dias
That's on the East
sober
Coast.
house. Yeah, it's East Coast. It's in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's
Yeah,
fucking an hour from Boston.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
don't get more East Coast
I
than
mean, shoot me the
Massachusetts. So
info.
I'm
I
telling
guess.
you, I can get you to the East Coast into a program, the nicest program in the whole city. Would you go?
I mean, shoot me the info, or
That's not
just
really
go
an
do
answer.
whatever
I
you got
just
to do
need
on
you
your end, and then
to
shoot me the
match. You can
info.
go. I can get you in. I mean, what more info do you need?
Hey, Birdman, let's help a brother out. Can
I
you
mean, I
pull
need
up
to
the
know
screen
where. I mean,
backstage?
where to catch my ticket. I need to where to catch my ticket, where to go, and like where to like. I mean, I just talk about. We'll get together in the background, or
I
if
am
we got
bullshitting you.
email or.
You can hit me up on Instagram, Birdman Drug Stories. If you got Instagram, you can message me on there. I am bullshitting, bro. That's what like the point of my channel is to try to help people. I do have
Well,
connections
mine.
at sober houses and shit. Like I'd be willing to help out anybody that reached out, and I think you reached out tonight. But I think you just need a little nudge in the right direction because I mean that house helped change my life. It helped get me away from my home area. Now I live in, I wanted to get away from my home area too. I don't live up there no more. I moved to North Carolina like 7 years ago. When I got done with that program, I wanted to also get away from my hometown area and my environment because I'm from there. So as soon as I got done with probation in that program, I went right to North Carolina.
So, if you don't mind me asking you, what was your DOC drug of choice? Like, what
By
was
the
your
end, it
like
was
little
heroin.
party
Heroin. By then, the heroin was getting
favor?
laced with fentanyl. But before that, opiates, pills. Before
You
that,
never done
I had a
uppers?
whole. Yeah, those were my early days. Coke, ecstasy. I never did any meth because meth wasn't around Massachusetts. Nobody could get
Oh,
meth back then. I think it's
uh,
up there now, but back then there was no meth. There was
yeah.
ecstasy, which I would get all the time. There was coke, which I would do all the time. I mean, all kinds of shit, but not meth. Everything, but it just wasn't
Yeah,
up there. Now it's up there.
I refuse to do coke. I refuse to do coke. That shit's. I never
I've
liked
peeked
it.
out the windows many, many nights, wondering where my paycheck went. It usually went right there. That's always where my paycheck ended up.
Yeah.
Hey, pull the
Start
screen
fucking
up
myself.
backstage, Birdman. Pull the
And
screen
you,
up. We'll
and
help out our brother, man. We'll get this guy some subs. You want to pull it up?
How do you do that? Do you know how to do it?
Yeah, it looks like somebody's backstage.
Is there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. There it is.
Okay, guys, this is the Actions Not Distractions channel. Give them a sub. Stay connected.
I'm gonna go sub to it right after the live before I gotta go hang out with my wife. I'm about to wrap it up because I gotta go hang out with the wifey. It's been a long stream, but it was a good one. And yeah, go check out Actions Not Distractions. I'm gonna go sub to it right when we get off the stream here. Hit me up on Instagram if you want to look further into that. If you hit me up on Instagram and message me, I can get information on that sober house program. 100%. We can follow. We can track your progress. You know what I'm saying? If I get you in there and you're able to get into that program, like keep your channel going. You can do updates, keep updated that way. Like I think that would be all right. I think that would be pretty cool. The help's there if you need it. You just gotta want it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll hit you up. I mean, yeah, I'll hit you up.
All right,
just
man.
Be a weekend warrior, bro.
I mean, yeah.
All right, we about to wrap it up. Happy Friday night. Don't do drugs. And don't forget, you're a towel. We out.